Hello everyone. Today we're going to make a game with Gamemaker 8.1 LITE. So I'm going to break this video up into sections because it's really easy to make a mistake, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that everything is clear so you can understand, because again, it is very easy to make mistakes, and sometimes it can be frustrating trying to fix it. Okay? So, let's get started. So, the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to create our hero, our main character. Okay, so this blue ball, we're going to be using this a lot because this basically creates our objects. It creates our enemies, it creates our blocks, and it creates basically everything. Okay, so click on create an object. We're going to name him hero. Okay, and then we're going to pick an appropriate sprite. A sprite is basically like an image. Okay, so I'll click new, load sprite. I like this guy right here. Okay, open. Make sure you center your sprite. Okay, every sprite will be centered with the exception of blocks, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so we press OK. Let's maximize this, and now we're ready to program our hero. So here are events, basically events. What's an event? When a key is pressed, when you collide with a wall, when a bullet hits you or an enemy. So that's the event, and you have to determine what happens when such an event occurs. Okay, so we have to program him to move. So we're going to click add event, keyboard. We're going to press left, and what's going to happen when we press left, we want him to move left. So we're going to drag out move fixed. We're going to select left, and we'll set it at a speed of 5. You can change the speed if you'd like, but for now let's keep it at 5. Okay, and now we need to do all the directions. So that's right, move fixed. We're going to select right, set the speed. Make sure you set the speed, because if you put 0, he's not going to move. Add event, keyboard up, same thing, up, speed of 5, and the last one down. Press down, speed of 5, and press OK. Now to test this, we're gonna have to take our hero. We're gonna create a room, and we're gonna put our hero in the room. So if you click on this white box here, it says create a room. This will create your room, and here you're gonna select the objects that you're gonna put in. So I'm gonna click hero. Okay. Now remember, I told you to center your sprites. The reason we do that is when you click on him, he's gonna end up right in the center of these two lines here. Okay, blocks are not going to be centered. Blocks are, we want the blocks to be right inside the square. We don't want them centered. Okay, now let's test it to see if our hero can move. Hey, that's me. So let's minimize this. So notice, if I press left, right, up, and down, he does move, but there's two problems here. Number one, I press left and I let it go, and he's still moving. Okay, same thing with all the other directions. I hit right, I hit up, I hit down, he's still moving. Okay, and number two, look, he's gone. Okay, we have to make a border. So first, let's fix this problem. We want him to stop moving as soon as we release the key. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's go back, double click on our hero to open up the hero object. We're going to click add event, key release, and now left, drag out move fixed, but this time you're going to click the center and you're going to leave it at 0. Okay, so basically when you release left, he's going to stop moving. Okay, we're going to have to do that for all the other keys. Key release right, same thing, put the center, press OK, and let's finish the other directions. Up, click the center, and finally down. Oops, click the center. Okay, let's test it, see if it works. Perfect. Okay, I press up, I let it go, he stops. Okay, now let's make our border. We're going to click new object to make our wall. We're going to name it wall, and make sure we check solid. Okay, we have to give it an appropriate sprite. Click new, load sprite, I'll pick this one. Remember, we're not going to center this, okay? We're going to press OK. Let's go ahead and put it in our room. Let's double click on room 0. Select the wall. And now, if you left click, you can add them on each individual box, but that could take a lot of time. So if you hold shift, you can kind of hold the left click and kind of paint over it, okay? Same thing with the right click. If I hold shift and I hold right click, rather not the same, it deletes it, okay? So if I'm right now I'm holding shift, left click will put it on, okay? And if I hold right click, it will delete it. Okay, so let's finish this border. Oh, and by the way, this right here is an area that does not exist in your game. So if you put something there, it's not going to show up in your game. Okay, so let's finish this. And now let's test it. So there's our hero. Here are the walls. But notice he's still going through it. How do we fix that? Well, we have to add an event. Let's go back to the hero. Okay, we're gonna click add event, collision, wall. So basically what we're saying here is whenever our hero collides with the wall, we have to determine what happens. We want him to stop. Okay, so now we're gonna drag out move fixed. We're gonna click the center and press OK, and let's see if that works. Test the game. Perfect. Okay, notice he's not gonna go through any of the walls. Okay, so now we're gonna make our enemy. We're gonna program our enemy to move, and we're gonna program him to shoot. Create an object. We're gonna name him enemy. We're gonna pick a sprite for him. Load sprite. We'll make this guy. Want to center. Okay, center and press OK. And now let's program him to move. Okay, we're gonna hit add event, create. We're gonna pick move fixed, but this time we're gonna select all of the directions. We'll make him, let's make him move a little faster than our hero, and then we'll press OK. And now we have to create his event where he hits the wall. Okay, collision with wall, but this time we're gonna press bounce. Okay, remember when you made the wall solid, he's gonna bounce against solid objects. Okay, very good. So let's see if that works. Let's go to our room and let's go ahead and add him. Enemy, put him here, and let's see what happens. Now he's working. Very nice. Let's put him really close. Let's see if that works. He might be stuck. Let's see if that works. Yeah, he's stuck. So you have to be careful where you put him. Now let's create a new object, and we're gonna call this one E_shot. Make sure you do not use any spaces. That's why I like to use underscore. And again, we're gonna pick an appropriate sprite, load sprite, and oh, I didn't want that. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's fine. I'll center that, and we'll press OK. And now let's go back into our enemy object. Okay. Now under my enemy object, I'm gonna hit add event. Create. Oh no, here we already have our create event here. Okay, so make sure you select create event. We'll go to the main 2, and we're gonna drag out this set alarm. Okay, and we're gonna put 20. This number we're gonna change. We can change later. I'll explain what that is in a second. So we'll put set 20. Okay, now add event, alarm 0, because we picked alarm 0. Okay, and now we're gonna drag out create instance. So basically what the alarm function is, it's like an alarm. If you set an alarm for every 10 minutes you'll get a beep beep beep, or a boop, or a bop, or whatever. Okay, so here we want to create the instance of the shot that he's going to shoot. Okay, so we're gonna pick E shot. We'll leave everything like this, but make sure you click relative. This is very important. Click relative. Okay, press OK. Now we're gonna go back, set alarm. So we want that shot to come out every few seconds, and this number determines how fast or how slow it goes. So you can experiment with that number if you'd like. I'm gonna stick to 20. Okay, now we're gonna go back to our E shot, double click on that. Okay, and notice that we don't have anything here, so nothing's gonna happen if we don't program it. Okay, so we're gonna hit add event, create, and basically what's gonna happen when it's created, what happens when that alarm goes off, we want the enemy to shoot. But in what direction do we want it to shoot? We want it to shoot in the direction of the hero. So let's go to move. We're gonna drag out move towards, and here, let's see, 10. Okay, here, since we named our hero hero, we're gonna type hero.x, and here we put hero.y. If you would have named this hero player, you would write player.x and player.y, but we named them hero, so let's do that again. Hero.x, hero.y, and we'll make a speed of 10. So we're gonna make this a little difficult. Okay, now let's go back to our room. Well, we already have our enemy here. Let's see what happens. Let's test it. Okay, so notice every time the shot comes, it goes right through our hero and it goes right through the walls, and that doesn't look too nice. So let's create an event that when it collides with our hero and the wall, it'll destroy itself. Okay, so we go back to E shot, we hit add event, collision, and when it collides with the hero, we want it to be destroyed. So right here, this recycle bin, destroy instance and leave it to self, and now we have to create the collision of when it hits the wall, and we're going to do the same thing. And let's test that out. Perfect. Okay, so if I put the number 20, this is how fast it will go. Okay, you can experiment with that number if you would like. Okay, so we don't have much of a game here. We have an enemy moving. I can move. I have an enemy shooting at me, but I can't shoot back at it. So let's program our hero to shoot. Okay, so let's create a new object, and we're gonna call it H for hero underscore shot, and we're gonna pick an appropriate sprite, load sprite, center it, make sure you center it. Okay, now let's go back into our hero object. We're gonna hit add event, create, and here click on the control tab, and you're gonna drag this set variable. Here we're gonna type ammo, and we're gonna set it to a value of 1. Okay, now what's next? I actually forgot. Oh, let's make him shoot when we press spacebar. Okay, so add event, keyboard, let's say space. Okay, so we have to test the variable. We have to make sure that we have ammo. So test the variable. We have to test ammo equal to 1. Okay, so if we have ammo, and which we will, this is what's going to happen. Start block. So basically, this start and end block is going to give us a few actions. Okay, it's not going to be just one thing. It's going to be a string of things. Okay, so when you press spacebar, we want that shot to be created. So let's go to main 1, create instance, and we're going to select H shot. Okay, make sure you click relative. That's very important. Okay, click relative. Okay, go back to the control tab. We're gonna set variable. Again, this is gonna be ammo, and we're gonna set it to 0. We're gonna leave it at 0. Okay, and now we need to set an alarm because we want to always have ammo. So we'll do set alarm. We'll do, let's say, 20. And we're going to end that block. Okay? There's one more step that we have to do. So the last step, we have to add alarm 0, and set variable. Variable will be ammo, and the value will be 1. Okay? Now, we can shoot, but we haven't determined what direction we're shooting in. So let's see what happens when we just put this code in. See, notice we do shoot, but we didn't determine what direction we're shooting. Okay? We're just shooting and it's just appearing. Okay? So let's make it shoot to the left. We'll go to H shot, add event, create, and then we're going to drag out move fixed. We'll pick left. We'll put the speed, let's say 10. Press OK. And let's test it out. Let's see if that works. Perfect. Okay. So notice it's still going through, the enemy, it's going through the wall, and we already know how to fix that. Add event, collision with the hero. Wait, oops, not hero, delete, with the enemy. Collision with the enemy. We want it to destroy itself, and also when it hits the wall, we would like it to destroy itself. Test, and there you have it. So our enemy and our hero are both moving and shooting. Okay, but no, they're not going away. It looks like they're gonna be here forever. And the reason is because we didn't set any hit points for any of them. Okay. Now remember when we picked the direction for our enemy, we picked all the directions, and notice that he's only moving diagonally. Well, it picks these directions at random. So some of them you may want to make just up and down, some just left and right, some just diagonally, but it's gonna pick it at random every time you open up the game. So let's make some hit points. We're gonna go to enemy. We'll click on the create event. We're gonna drag out set variable, and we're gonna name this enemy HP, and this number will determine how many hit points your enemy will take before he gets destroyed. So let's say 5. Okay. Now we have to make that collision event. So let's make add event collision with the hero shot. So basically every time it gets shot, we want him to go down 1 HP. So we're gonna go set variable. We're gonna write enemy HP, and we're gonna make it -1. So every time he gets hit, he goes down 1 HP. Okay. But what happens when he goes below? We want the enemy to just completely disappear. So here we're gonna go test variable. The variable enemy HP is less than 1, So what happens when the enemy, oops, I hit cancel. Enemy HP value of 1 when it's less than. So what happens if the enemy's HP is smaller than 1? Then we are going to set it to destroy. Is that 1? We're going to have it destroy. I actually made a mistake here. We're not going to put object enemy, because what's going to happen if you destroy one enemy, all the enemies are going to be destroyed. So we're going to actually leave that to self. Make sure you leave that to self. So if this works, the enemy should take 5 shots. So let's try it. Okay, let me just line this up. 1. Oh no, it only just took 1. Everything has to be very precise, and it's very easy to make a mistake. I forgot to check relative in this, so now that I'm going to click relative, it should work. He should take 5 hits. So let's try it. Hope it works. Okay, 1. Notice he's moving left and right now, so like I said, it's going to pick it at random. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Gone. So here we can destroy the enemy, but we can't get destroyed, and that's not very it's not very fun because it's not very challenging. So let's put some player health. Okay, so let's go to our hero object, add event, other, game start. So when the game starts, we're gonna set the hero's health to 100, and we're gonna set the hero's lives to 3. Again, you can change them to whatever value you'd like. So his health is 100, he has life 3. Now, what happens if we have no more health? Other, no more health. So we're gonna set lives -1 relative. So every time that happens, we're gonna lose 1 life. Every time our HP goes down to 0, we're gonna lose 1 life. And then we're gonna set our health back up to 100. Okay, 100. Now what happens if we have no more lives? Other, no more lives. So if we have no more lives, we're gonna display a message, and we're gonna write something like game over, and then we're gonna check question, play again. Do you want to play again? Okay. If the user says yes, then we're gonna restart the game, and this is game restart. But if the user says no, how do we indicate that the user could say no? We have to put else. Okay, so if the user says no, we're gonna go ahead and end the game. Okay. Now we have to create the event of when the enemy shot hits the player. So we're gonna go to our hero. We're on a hero, add event, collision, but this time with the enemy shot. What's gonna happen every time we collide, actually where the shot collides with us? We're gonna set the health. We're gonna set the health to -10, and we're gonna click relative. Okay, if we don't click relative, we're basically gonna set his health to -10. We want it to go -10 every time we get hit, so that's why we hit relative here. Okay, let's see if that works. So remember, I have 100 health, I have 3 lives, and every time I get hit by that shot, I lose 10 HP. Okay, so it should take 30 shots to destroy my hero. Let's see if yes. Was that about 30? I'm not too sure. Let's assume that that was 30. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so now we have the enemy health, now we have the player health, but nothing happens when I destroy my last enemy. I just stay there floating and nothing happens. Well, we want to make another room. We want to be able to go to the next room after we destroy all the enemies. So let's go ahead and make that. Now we're going to create a new object, and we're going to name this one Portal. Portal. We're going to create, we're going to pick an appropriate sprite. Make something like, ooh, this looks cool. We're going to center it, and then we're going to press OK. Now, next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to our enemy. We're going to go to our enemy object, and we're going to go to the collision of the hero shot. So every time he gets shot, his HP goes down to 1. If it's smaller than 1, it destroys himself. But let's keep building on that. We're going to go to test instance count. So basically, we're going to test to see enemy. Let's see. Enemy is, we'll say less than 1. Let's smaller than 1. Okay. So if there are no more enemies, we're going to go ahead and create that portal. So create object. We're going to create the portal. Okay. Now we have to program what happens when the player touches the portal. So go to hero, add event, collision, portal. So after we have our collision event, we are going to check next to see if there's another room. Here we go. Check next. Okay. So if the next room exists, we're gonna go ahead and go to that room. Okay. Let me just make sure. Previous room, different room. We're gonna go to if the next room exists, and we can make some type of transition effect. Let's fade. Let's do that. Okay. But what if you're at the last level? We want to end the game. So we have to put else. So if the next room exists, we're gonna go to the next room. But if the next room doesn't exist, we're gonna end the game. So we're gonna hit start block. Display message. Oh, that's not it. Display message, and we're gonna type something like you win. Okay. We'll go to score. Show high score. We'll leave that as it is. We'll go to end game. We'll go to end game, and then we'll end the block. Okay, so now notice we only have one room. Okay, so we're gonna create another room. Let's create another room. Let's draw our wall. Now you can make these different blocks. You just have to load a different sprite for it and then select it right here. So here's this. We have to put the hero in here. Oops. Select hero. Okay. We'll throw the enemy in here. Let's see what happens. So when I destroy the enemy, the portal should appear. And there's the portal. Alright, but we don't want the portal there. Okay, so let's go back and fix that. Okay, enemy. You would have to determine exactly where you want it. So, let's see. Let's go back to the room. Let's say we want it here, on this box right here. If you look down here, it's going to show you the X and Y. So if I want my portal, remember it's a centered sprite. So let's say I want it right here. Let's say 480, whatever, 480, 256. 480, 256. Let's see if that works. Man, this game is so hard. Oh, okay, so it appeared exactly where I wanted it to. Now notice I didn't create another room. So here it should take me to, there's my high score. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a few things that's gonna make this game a little nicer. So let's go back to the hero object. Let's add some music. Let's go to game start, and then we're gonna add play sound. I'm not sure. Here it is. Play sound. Okay, and then here you would pick you would pick whatever sound that you have, whatever sound file if you have a song or anything. And if you wanted to play continuously, here you would put loop. You would loop true. Okay. Oh, I have to load the sound first. Whoops. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna click create sound, load sound, and here I have a few of them. Let's say, I don't know. Let's have a phone ringing. And we'll press OK. Let's go back to game start, play sound, and we'll pick sound 0, which was right here. This was the phone ringing. So let's see what happens. And there you go. So let's go back. Now notice I had loop false. So if I want to keep playing it, I'm gonna put true. And I know it's a little silly, but that's how you would create. That's how you would add sound. So we're gonna hear a phone constantly ringing. Okay. So let's stop that. So let's delete that. I don't want that at all. So let's say you want to make a sound every time that you shoot. So let's go to space, and here you would put add sound, but remember you have to load the sound first. So let's load that sound. Load sound. And let's try this one. And we'll press OK. And now we need to drag in sound and make sure this is false. Okay, and then we're gonna pick the sound that we picked. Now every time that we hit spacebar, we should hit that sound. We should hear that sound. Oh, see, there you go. You can also, alright, so let's stop that. So that's not, well, let's delete that. Okay, so that's, you can make sounds for, like, you know, every time you shoot. Okay. Let's talk about coins too. We can add coins to it. So let's add a new object. We'll name it coin. We will give it an appropriate sprite, something like a coin. Not too sure. I'll just put shapes every time. Let's just use this just for an example. We'll press OK, and we have to hit a collision event every time that our hero collides with this coin. We get a point. Okay, so add event. Oh wait, no, we have to make sure we're in our hero object. Double click on the hero. Okay, add event, collision, coin, and you would go to score, and then you would say set score. Let's say every time you touch the coin you get 10 points. Okay, so I will go back into my room and I would add those coins. Okay, so every time I touch those coins I get 10 points. Now you can also make it that if the enemy touches the coins it'll destroy it. So how do you do that? Let's do add event, collision, coin, but instead of picking coin right here, we're going to destroy other. So if we put self, it'll be destroying the enemy because we're in the enemy object. Okay, but if we put other, we're going to be destroying the object that we touch. So let's see if that works. Cool. And there you go. So let me go touch one at least, and notice I got a score of 10. Oops, and now it's not disappearing. We got to fix that. So let's go back to hero, collision with coin. We set the score to 10, but we also have to have it destroy itself because we don't want that coin to always be there. Control, destroy, and again we're not going to put object, we're going to put other. So let's add a background. Let's click on here to load a new background. Oh, I have two of them. Oops. Load background. I guess this. Okay. We'll use that. So now we have to go into our room and add it. So here you're going to click background. Click here and then just go ahead and select the background that you selected. Now let's put a different background for our second room. Okay, remember we have to have the backgrounds loaded, so that's this one. Let's load up this one. Let's load a different background. Do this, press OK, and now we click on backgrounds and go ahead and we select it. Okay, and now remember here if you click on settings you can make this room a little bigger. Okay, so width we can make it, let's say 800. And the height we could make it same thing, 800. Okay, so you can play around with this number here. You can make it big, you can make it small. And remember, if you want to add objects you have to click on object here. And let's just do this. And I want to select the wall. I want to add another wall. Oops. Okay. So that's how you put a background. That's how you would make it bigger. Now let's say you want to have different enemies. You don't want to just have that one guy there. It's very easy. All you need to do, let's just do this. Let's just make, I'm sorry, right click the enemy. Okay, so here if you double click the enemy, notice that he's already programmed. Okay, he's programmed to move in those directions. He has 5 HP. Okay, he shoots this fast. That's the bullet that he shoots. Okay, we have these collisions. Everything's programmed for us. So we're going to right click and we're going to hit duplicate. Now notice it's a different object, but we could pick a different sprite for it. So let's hit new, load sprite, and let's make a different enemy. Let's make like a boss. Let's make a very, very strong enemy. So let's pick a new monster. Let's make this guy a boss. Center. And we're gonna change him up a little. Okay, you can select whatever direction you want him to move in. Okay, so since he's a boss, we're gonna make him 50. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed my small tutorial on how to make a game on Gamemaker 8.1 LITE. I hope you have a lot of fun with this. It's really, really cool. You can be very, very creative and make a lot of different things with this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.